Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about The Sims 3. A lot of people are really unhappy with The Sims 4, especially after the My Wedding Stories saga. And a lot more people are jumping on to Sims 3 and playing it for even the first time or revisiting it. So I wanted to put together a little guide of some tips and tricks that have kind of helped me keep The Sims 3 up and running and nice and stable because it does have some performance issues. I'm not going to lie to you about that. There is some issues, but I still think it's a really great game. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I personally think I enjoy The Sims 3 more than The Sims 4. I enjoy it better, but that's my opinion. It might not be yours, and that's okay. We've all got different opinions, and that's, again, okay. What's not okay is, dissing people for their opinions. Not cool. Anyways, so I've got a couple things that I want to show to you to kind of get your game running smoother, maybe help with some of those performance issues, and maybe recommend some mods and just some kind of things you can do to avoid issues or prevent issues and kind of, I don't know, just keep your game running better. So first up are some general performance tips. These are pretty easy to do. You can do these without installing anything or stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the options in the menu. And what you want to do is you're going to go to game options. No, not game. It's general settings. And so there's a couple things you can turn on or off in here. So you want to disable memories. I'm pretty sure you have to do this per save, but I'm not 100% sure. So what disabling memories does is I'm just going to tick that. And so Sims get like little, it's in here somewhere. I think it's like in their profile. Yes, scrapbook or something. And so it puts in a lot of all these memories. Like she can have up to 300 memories. And they're like, yeah, look, I taught that sim to talk. Wow, that's a memory. And so the problem with this is it creates a thumbnail for it. No thanks. And so it bloats the saves if all of your sims are learning this. So can you imagine there's like, you've got multiple sims in your household, they're all learning memories. It's going to get bloated. So that kind of increases your save game file, which will increase your loading times because it's bigger and it takes longer to load. So that's something you can do to kind of reduce that there. And so we're going to go back into the general options. So you can disable memories. You can also disable lessons, which it just kind of stops the tutorials. If you're a newer player, you might want to have those lessons, but they're usually pretty basic stuff. If you've played a Sims game, you probably don't need the lessons on, but, that's something you can do. And then you can also enable or disable the interactive loading screens. And so these are, when you load your game first up and you're prompted to, find the different things and you get aspiration points, that will increase your loading time when you're trying to get into the game. And so to kind of decrease the loading time, if you disable the interactive loading screens, that will hopefully decrease your loading time a little bit. I personally only take less than a minute to load up my save, but I have a really beefy computer. Not everyone is in the same position as me with that, so that can really help you out, maybe shave a couple minutes off your loading time if you do that, and also disabling memories. So next up, we're going to talk about some tech issues that you may have when you are, I suppose, trying to get the game first installed. So The Sims 3 is over 10 years old at this point. It was released in 2009, according to Google. And so sometimes with older games, you've probably experienced them if you've played some older games before, is that it just doesn't recognize the newer hardware. So it might not recognize your graphic card, and it will just display really poorly and stuff like that. And so what you want to do is, I'm not going to tell you everything to do. I found a guide for you. This is a really in detail comprehensive guide. It came out in 2016, but they were updated on February this year, so that's pretty awesome. It was by Flynn Arrowstar, so that's really cool, and you can see they've got a lot of information here on how to do this sort of stuff, and so I'm not the biggest tech person, but this guide seems really comprehensive, so you should be able to follow it. I will be putting the link in the description down below, so you can, although I think they show up to the left now. I don't fucking know. YouTube's weird. But it'll be in the description, and if I remember, I'll put it in the comments for the mobile viewers as well. So that's what we're working with there. So that's like a pretty good thing. Again, I'm not going to go over this because I would just be showing off their guide. So I would much rather push it through, like, go check out their guide. So there you go. Good times all around. So next up, we're going to go back into game quickly. And I'm going to show you a couple tips that I found help out with saving. So saving is interesting. So obviously you have the save option, which will let you save. But I recommend at least once a day, like a sim day, maybe it's not that much, but fairly frequently use the save as functionality. So what you want to do is you just want to do save as, and each time you go up, you just go to V4 and you do that. Oh, I already have that. Let's just call that, I don't know, V1000. There you go, it's fine. Not correct saving practices, but I just opened up a save so we could demonstrate this thing. And so what this is going to do is if your save corrupts, you will have periodic backups that you can revert back to and maybe prevent the glitch. And so that's really going to help you out if you're encountering a lot of bugs or stuff like that. Is it can kind of help you prevent, maybe not prevent them, but if something you did caused a bug, it will at least. So I like to do it personally for my Let's Play episodes. I do it at the end of every time I record. So that way I don't lose too much. But, it's up to you how you want to do it. The next thing is we're going to go into Create a Sim quickly. Cut out that loading screen for you all. But we're here in Create a Sim. So what we're going to do is sometimes when Sims age up, they get stuck on their birthday animation, which is a real pain because they just don't age up, and it's the worst, and you have to reset them until they until they age up. But often when they get reset, it changes all of their facial features and they don't look like them anymore. And if they're, a kid, they don't look like their parents anymore, which is really upsetting. For me anyways, it upsets me. And so when I was playing 100 Baby Challenge in The Sims 3, I discovered this kind of interesting little workaround you do. So what you can do is you can save a sim to the tree, or the bin. So what you would do is you just do save to the bin, and it saves the sim. And so if your sim has a baby, and you age them up into a toddler, and then you dress them, you save that toddler to the bin right away. Because what happens is if it resets and their appearance ends up looking weird, you can then go into Create a Sim once they're aged up, and then you can go here to the bin and you can find them. You can see one of my Sims here as a toddler. I won't actually do this with, but yeah, you place the Sim down. And then you go, once that's fine, you select them. And then you go and you age them up manually, say, to a child. And so what happens there is that your sim will stay being your sim. But they're not going to... And so they'll keep all their stuff with their family tree and maintain all that. But they'll just have the appearance of the sim from the bin. So that way, if something has happened to that sim, you've got a backup. And also, it's kind of handy to have it in a separate file too, because if the save does corrupt, you've at least got a copy of all your sims, and you can place them all down and put them in a new save. It's not quite the same, but it's a good preventative measure for not only the age up glitch, but also the just general glitchiness of The Sims 3 that can happen. So there we go. That's my kind of saving tips, is remember to save as on a regular basis so you at least have a backup, and then also save your Sims to a tray for age up bugs, and also for if the save completely fries itself and you've got another backup. So next up, we're going to talk about mods. There's a couple mods you can get that will really increase your performance. I'm going to just set that to loading while we talk about them. You going to do you think, girlfriend? I don't know what's going on. See, look, it's just slow. It's just slow. Good girl. We're going to go have a look at the mods though. Well, that does its thing. So the first mod that I'm going to recommend is Naris. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but if you've played The Sims 4 and you've used like Master Control Center, it's my understanding that that mod was heavily inspired by the functionality that was from these mods in The Sims 3. So if you use that mod, you're probably going to want to use it here. And I know what you're thinking, hey, I really don't like mods. Some of you might be thinking that, some of you might not. But these mods, I think, are essential for getting your performance. So even if you don't have any hair or, other CC, I would still highly recommend you look at checking these out. So the 3 that I really would like top must get recommend is you're going to want Master Controller. It adds a lot more options and it just kind of gives you a lot more things you can do. I'll show you one of the things that I'm gonna recommend, like if you're having performance issues or save issues, this can really help with that. So next up, the other one you really want to get is Overwatch. So what this does is at 3 a.m. every day, it if the Sims are having routing issues, like say they can't get home, their car just stays there, they'll generate a new car, and then you have all this shit lying around your world and it slows it down and it's unplayable. What Overwatch does is at 3 a.m. every sim day is it cleans that up, and so it makes the town run more smoothly. Next up, I'm going to recommend Error Trap. It just helps with a lot of stuff, and it kind of can help with some of the massive game breaking glitches. But, if you're looking for a couple other things that these mods have, there's some really great ones. Some of the ones I use are, let me just see, I wrote down a list. I like Mover because it just makes the moving process work better. The Dresser, which, it lets you choose your maternity clothes. It's got a couple other little things and, it's just handy. Portrait Panel is essential if you're wanting to play with more than the recommended amount of Sims. It displays them all nicely. And next up, what else do I really like? I like Traveler, which it's down here somewhere. It's down here. So it pretty much stops a lot of the issues that you get when traveling, say with World Adventures, and it also enables other worlds to be able to be traveled to, and then also lets you change your home location. So if you want to move to a new world, this is what you want. I also recommend Story Progression. It tells you what your other Sims are up to that maybe aren't in your house that you're friends with or stuff like that. It kind of, I don't know, it adjusts based off your age span. You've got all that goodness, and so it's a really good one to have. And then there's also Woohooer, which is, if you've kind of had wicked whims, Woohooer's a bit tame. I don't think it has sex animations, but it expands the kind of systems for romance. It adds some like risky woohoo, teen pregnancy. It enables you to turn off some of the annoying settings. Like I think one of the packs, they get Stride of Pride. So if they woohoo with someone, they walk around really slowly for a while because they're doing their like, oh yeah. It's kind of like the reverse of Walk of Shame. It's the Walk of Pride. But that's really handy. But there's also some other really good ones here. So I'd recommend checking them out, seeing what you're interested in. They're really good. Next up, I'm going to recommend this mod here, the Smooth Patch. So For me, I didn't find any performance increase because my computer is a beefcake. It is designed to process and encode things fast. So it processes The Sims 3 amazingly. But the Sims 3 Smooth Patch is handy. It's installed a little bit differently. You put it into your bin and then you open it like this. And so it just it does some stuff, some optimization, and fixes a lot of kind of lag stuff for a lot of people. Some people have reported, it decreasing minutes off their load time in Create a Sim and stuff like that. So it's a good one to check out, see if it works, see if it doesn't work. I don't really know how it works, but it apparently works. And like I said, I didn't increase the performance bump, but a lot of people have, and so that's why I'm going to recommend it, because if you've got an older computer, it may help you out and cut minutes off your loading time. So hopefully my Sims That's Perfect has loaded back up. So the reason I recommend Master Controller is I'm just going to quickly show you how to use a lot of the Nara stuff. So if you go to Town Hall, you can see all the stuff that I've got installed here, and so all this goodness, this is where you change your settings and stuff. If you do story progression, you're probably going to want to do one. Go here, and then do, I believe, general options, and then all stories. You want to change this to be something a little bit less annoying. It's default set to all, so that means anytime anyone in the town has something happen, you're going to get a notification. I like setting it to blood so that, your family gets stuff, but you can also set it to friends, or romantic people, or whatever you like. But you can set it, or if you just want none, you can set it to none, and the story progression will still do its other things, but you just won't get little notifications up the top of your game that's what's going on. So next up, we also want to show you, this one will really help. So this is why I recommend Master Controller. So what you want to do for Master Controller, this can really help if you're experiencing a lot of lag. Sometimes I find resetting the town helps. So what you want to do is you want to go into Master Controller, you want to go to Town, and you want to do Reset Everything. And so what this does is it'll take a while. But it resets every single object, every single lot, every single sim in the whole town. You can see my Sims along the side. Their icon portraits were flashing. And so that can potentially fix any issues you're having if someone's stuck somewhere and it's causing like a massive issue. So that's something you can do to help it if Overwatch or something like that can't be picked up. I've found that this is saved, like corrupted saves for me running this. It just fixes something. So, it's definitely something to check out. That's why I recommend Master Controller to be included. You can see, look at that. It reset 13,882 objects. That's every single thing in the save. It's reset it. So it's like resetting a sim, but it resets everything. So it can help with some performance issues that you're having. It just kind of puts everything back where it's supposed to be. Turns off radios, turns off TVs, all that sort of goodness. It just sets it all back to default. And it's kind of handy, and you can see they're all just hanging out now outside. It does put them all back home, all that goodness, but that's just kind of something to note. I think it's really handy. So last up, I'm going to talk about Steam versus Origin, or Origin versus Steam, however you want it. So there's two different launches you can play The Sims 3 on, which are Steam, which you may be familiar with if you play other games other than The Sims. Steam is a pretty well-known launcher. And then there's also Origin, who most people play The Sims through. So what's the difference? Why should I go with one or the other? So the Steam version is not the most up-to-date patch for some reason. So there may be some mod compatibility issues. If you're trying to install mods that are using the latest version, you might not be able to if you're playing on the Steam version. That's about the only difference between them. A lot of people like to play on the Steam version because they find that there's some performance issues with the latest version, but I personally find the compatibility better on the latest version, so I like playing on Origin. It's up to personal preference, but that's a thing that we can talk about. Second up, I want to talk about with the Steam to Origin, depending. So I'm going to say this right up now. You cannot, if you purchase The Sims 3 on Steam today, you cannot, I repeat, cannot move it to Origin. If you purchased it maybe a year or two ago on Steam, it is possible you may be able to move it over. And I'm going to show you how to do it, but like I said, do not purchase it today expecting you can do it. Don't do it because it won't work. Okay, like, are you understanding? Do not purchase it on Steam today if you want to play it on Origin, because you can't. You can't. If you purchased it ages ago, like me on Steam, you can. Because they were giving out CD keys then. They don't anymore. It's something to note. I had a guide up about it, and it works for people who purchased it ages ago, but it will not work for you if you purchase it today, and you'll have to play it on Steam. Please don't blame me for wasting your money if you didn't listen to my 5 warnings that I just said right now, okay? Again, so these are only for people who bought it ages ago on Steam. So this is Steam. This is my Steam library. You can see I've got a few games here. So I bought these ages ago. So what you want to do is, this is a good way to check too, because not all people who bought it ages ago will have this. I'm not quite sure when the cutoff was, but it was sometime last year, I believe, or the year before. I'm not 100% sure. So what you want to do is you want to right click on your game and you want to go to manage CD keys. And I'm going to cover up my CDs keys here, otherwise you'll be able to use them, but that's the magic of editing. And so you can see all of my Sims 3 like DLCs are listed here, and you can't see on this side under the product code, it has all their CD keys. And so say again, you can't purchase it today and expect this to work, but it may work for you depending on when you purchased it. I have no guarantee about this. Please don't purchase it today if you want to move it to Origin. I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I don't want someone to waste their money. So you want to press the copy to clipboard button, which will copy the CD key to a clipboard. And then you want to go over to your Origin. You can see here, and I'm using the older version of Origin, the not the new version, so it may look slightly different for you. And then you want to do add game, redeem product code, like that, and then you paste it in. And so to paste, you see I can't right click and do it. You want to press Control, the CTRL, and V at the same time, and that will paste the key that you copied into here, and then you just follow the prompts and it will put it onto Origin, and you'll be able to download it like normal. Again, it won't work for you if you buy it today, but depending on when or if you bought it on Steam, it may work for you. So I wanted to include that to show off that it is possible, but depending on when you did it, you may or may not be able to. So that's just something to note, and I think it's important. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover. These are just from my personal experiences. It's not a steadfast guide on everything. I'm sure there's plenty of other options to improve performance. A lot of people like turning off the store notifications. I believe I have those off too, but I don't know. There's a lot of other things you can do. There's stuff you can do like clearing out your cache regularly and stuff like that, but there's a lot of guides on that, and you know, if you're having certain performance issues, it's good to just Google what's going on. I guarantee you there'll be a guide about it, but these are from my experiences, my top ways to kind of reduce and prevent bugs and all that sort of stuff. And if you have any tips, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Like, that'd be really cool. Also, we have no money. That's fun. I obviously broke something. As you can see, there's bugs. It's not a perfect game, but, you know, that's fine. Here we go. Look at this. We'll break it again. That's fun. Probably need to save and quit, but you know what I mean. There's just a lot of things you can do to improve your stuff like that. I would just recommend seeing what works for you, trying some of these things out, maybe all of them. Up to you, but this is what has worked for me. And if you have any other suggestions, or I suppose things, put them in the comments for other people who are trying out The Sims 3. And I don't know, let me know if I helped you, or, you know, let me know if you've tried out The Sims 3 because of me. And we also have a Discord, by the way, so if you want to share some of your Sims screenshots or ask any questions, we've got a wealth of knowledge available in the Discord, and we should be able to help. So please come and chat to us, and we play lots of games. At the moment, we've got a Valheim server going on, which is really fun. And, you know, we're going to be playing Overcooked this weekend on stream. Not sure when you're seeing this, so that may not be relevant. But we've got a lot of stuff, and I hope this guide helped you. And like I said, it's not complete. It's just what's helped me out to help The Sims 3 run better on my computer. May not work for you, but it may work for others. So that's what I mean. Let me know your tips and tricks down below in the comments, and I don't know. I'll talk to you guys all soon, and I hope this helped someone a little, and maybe we saved some Sim saves from corruption. But anyways, I will talk to you guys all soon. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.